Hey guys, welcome to HipHughes History. We're banging out Article 7, Ratification, baby, of the U.S. Constitution. Let's take a look at the words. Let's take a look at the meaning. Let's take a look at the ramifications. Let's take a look at you growing your brain. Bang, bang. Here comes the learning. All right, let's read the words. It's pretty simple.
The ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same.
Now, operationally, what that means is simply if there's 13 states back then, we need 9, and that this puppy is ratified, and they'll be done by state conventions, not state legislatures. And we'll talk about kind of the meaning behind that in a second. But in terms of, functionality, we have, I think, a date of September 20th, 1787, that the convention ends and sends the new Constitution to the Confederation Congress. Under the Articles of Confederation, we had a Congress, 13 members, 1 representing each state, and it really is the concept that the states are kind of, in a sense, like their own entities, and they're joining together in order to run some things that need to be run together. So it's a union rather than really like a government of people. Can we say that? I guess I just did say that. And furthermore, to solidify that idea is the idea that in the Articles of Confederation, if they wanted to change it or amend it, you needed all 13 states to agree. In a sense, we all agreed to form this union. If we're going to change it, we all need to agree to change it. And that's not what Article 7 of the Constitution says. It says you only need 9 of the 13. Therefore, there might be some people that join this union, some states, people, that might not want to, stay in it, that are going to be forced to. And we'll talk about those states in a second. But once that happens, I believe it's September 28th, 8 days later, that Congress, rather than amending themselves and agreeing to do this Constitution, they turn it over to the states without question. They don't comment on it. They don't vote on it. They just go, all right, we'll see. We'll do what you said. There you go. And now it's thrown not to the state legislatures, which represent the states. And I think this goes to the argument that rather than us being a government of states, we're a government of people, because Article 7 says there'll be conventions, and conventions are drawn by people. So each state has a convention that's voted in by the people, and then they're going to vote in that convention whether or not to ratify this Constitution.
Mr. Trouble never hangs around.
Bada boom, bada bing. We have basically 2 years of kind of internal communication and fighting, mainly through printed, writing, newspapers. We have the Federalist Papers, printed mainly in New York, but read all across the country. And we have anti-Federalist papers that are making these arguments, one for states' rights to stay with the Articles of Confederation, and the other one that this is a more perfect union way of doing things. So, Delaware, boom! Congratulations! You're the first one that ratified it. And New Hampshire, oh, thanks for being number 9. You were the 9th state. Those were the 9 states that ratified the Constitution. Following that vote, New York and Virginia also eventually voted to accept the new Constitution, to ratify it. It was North Carolina whose convention disbanded, and Rhode Island, who didn't even have a convention. They were like, we ain't going to do it. We ain't going to do it. They finally had conventions following the new Congress, which took over on March 4th of 1789, when they sent the new Bill of Rights, the 10 amendments to the Constitution, to the states for their ratification. So at that point, they felt like, okay, we feel secure. We have these guarantees in the Bill of Rights, so we'll vote for it too. So eventually, in a sense, it becomes unanimous. So there you go. Article 7's the linchpin, baby. I don't know what that means, but I think it is the one that turns all the other ones on. Without Article 7, we don't have nothing else to talk about. And I have nothing else to talk about with you right now. So I want to give a couple of quick shout-outs. Eve Heaton and Melanie Reedneck. Both of you showed a lot of love for the HipHughes history. We raised a bunch of cash, and we wanted to thank you very much for your contributions. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't even want to look at the camera at you right now. I just want to shun you. I shunned you. Yeah, how about that? You should subscribe because it's good karma and it's the right thing to do. And tell other people to subscribe because that will further put wings on angels. How about that? And giddy up for the learning, guys. And I guess that's all I have for you, except you know what I'm going to say if you ever watched me before. Where attention goes, energy flows.